Starting off with the AR guys. You guys can be a couple of different things, and we'll talk about each AR individually. You guys are usually in it for the CAG look, or you're a patriot of a certain country. You guys adapt to your surroundings well, but you often have anger issues, and God forbid if you speak bad about the 5.56 caliber. But you guys are mostly chill, and you're pretty good teammates. Moving to the M4, you guys chose the safe option. It's very versatile. You guys are pretty chill, and you usually enjoy the versatility of either a DMR, a PDW, or you're in it for the gang-related stuff. If you enjoy using the M16 of any kind, you're a grandpa. Listen up, Gramps. We're not in Vietnam anymore. If you like the A4 variant in any way, you likely hate all modern rifles that like the MK18 or the HK416. If you enjoy the modern styles like the HK416 or anything like that, you're as chill as it gets. You likely can't decide what SOP mod to use, so you interchange them all out, and you're never really mad about the result. Moving on to the AK platform. You guys have two extremes. You're either the chillest guy in your friend group and just like to use something different while also having some durability to match the punch, or you're the other type that build their life around the Kalashnikov rifle, and if you don't like AKs, then go fuck yourself. If you're the second type, you hate all other rifle platforms, no questions asked. You're also sweaty as shit, like, can you scrub your ball stain, bro? You guys also like to eat cereal without milk, or you put the milk in first. Some of you guys straight up just pour the cereal on the counter, then pour the milk on the counter and eat it off the counter. If you guys like to use the 74 platforms of the AK, you're usually much chiller, but you still share some similarities. Many of the AK users in BRM 5 still eat Play-Doh, and they have had their binky in their mouth since 2009. Moving on to G36 users. The brick of a main sight really speaks for itself. It's just awful. In all reality though, if you take that sight off and use a normal rail, you're either a Yana main from Rainbow Six Siege, or you're actually just a chill guy. Moving on to the AK-5C and the stgw 07K. Both of these guns fit into the same category because their stereotype is pretty similar. You guys like the simple, not as known rifles, flat out. The lack of customization on these rifles pisses you off, so you likely use an AR platform anyway, but you will always have a soft spot in your heart for these two rifles. You guys generally tend to avoid conflict, and there's nothing wrong with that. Moving on to the shotgun. This gun is plain and simple. You're a Giga Chad. In all reality though, you're a sweaty little bitch, and you only play PvP, because let's be honest, no one uses the shotty in open world. The only customization on the gun being a sight pisses you off, and you're secretly hoping the AA-12 comes back for the shits and giggles. You also wish most maps were closer range, but you also don't care because you can put a sniper scope on the shotgun. Next up is the FAL. Average users tend to look like this. Non-average users tend to have a crippling alcohol addiction and are going to die at the age of 30. You guys also hate all other platforms of weapons and decide that the Cold War weapons are your style. Moving on to both of the SCARs. You guys enjoy the simpler weapons that aren't AR platforms. You don't need too many rounds to get the job done, and you think the gun looks cool because it's different. You also tend to like the added firepower the bigger round offers with the SCAR H. You guys are generally not very toxic and just like to play the game with a little bit of fun. I have mad respect for any SCAR users, especially if you use the SCAR H in PvP. Moving on to the two biggest Bullpup rifles in the game, the FAMAS and the AUG A3. Both players who use either weapon are chill and pretty non-aggressive. You either like the FAMAS because you're French, or you just like the different weapon design. Any AUG A3 users these days are veterans of the game and wish the AUG would return to its former glory like an Operation Viper. Moving on to the AS Val. If you're an AS Val user, you do not deserve a cold pillow at night. You wish this thing was even half as good as it once was. Your guys' ball sweat has zero effect on yourself because you smell it all hours of the day. And you use the bathroom like Eric Cartman in the episode of South Park where he's playing League of Legends in his parents' basement. You guys think you're the Giga Chads of BRM 5, but you're everything but that. Moving on to all sniper rifles and DMRs. All sniper rifle and DMR users in this game are pretty similar. You guys are really just in it for the milsim. You guys generally like to stick back and prefer the meta where you just chillax with your boys while playing the game. You guys tend to not bother anyone, and if someone needs help, you guys are usually the first ones to offer that help for them. Moving on to the SMGs. First up is the MP7. You guys like the little things in life, and no, I don't mean dicks. You enjoy the versatility of the weapon, but you really only use it in PvP because it's the best mode for it. Next up in line is the P90. You guys are the Giga Chads of PvP, period. You enjoy the really fast fire rate and the damage. You're also either really toxic or really chill. There's no in between. With the UMP 45, you have a niche for hidden gems. The UMP 45 is great in PvP, and the ability to have fun with it also makes it a valuable weapon. Next up is the MP5. People who use the MP5 are French and want to be part of the GIGN so bad. Really, deep down, you hate the MP5, but you only use it so the GIGN leaders can see your loyalty to the weapon and your country. Moving on to the MP9N. If you use the MP9, flat out, you hate open world. You're also a transferring CSGO player and think it's as good, if not better, than it is in that game. You're also a whiny little bitch when it comes to PvP and will rage at everything and everyone, even when you're the one to blame. For the last category of this video, we're going to be moving to all the handguns in the game. First up is the Glock 17 Gen 3. If you use a sight with the Glock 17, you're a chill tactical person who enjoys using a handgun with a sight for tactical purposes. If you don't run a sight, you're a street running thug and you like to hold your gun sideways. If you use the Browning high power, you enjoy the Vietnam era weapons and want a 1911 in the game so bad. If you use the Beretta M9, you're either a US Marine in real life or you're a beginner. There's no in between. If you use the M17, you hate British people. It's also my favorite looking gun, and anyone who uses it, I love you. You also generally don't care it's a SIG because it looks cool. Next up is the Model 75. You guys are like the Glock 17 enjoyer, but you want to be different so bad. You guys aren't affiliated with the gang activities, but you do wish there was at least a sight you could put on the gun to make it more fun. If you use the PM, you're Russian. Or you're a beginner. The very last weapon of this video, the USP-45. If you use the USP-45, you're probably Bunzelware in real life. You also can't accept the fact that USP stands for Uber Engineered Schnitzel Pistol. You're also down bad for IQ from Rainbow Six Siege. So that's all I have for you guys. I didn't get to some weapons because they were added after I had written the script, and RGE was added after I had written the script, and literally like we're talking 20 minutes after I had written everything, and I had just gone to bed, and I didn't have time to go back in, fix the script, add in new weapons, or get the gameplay for the new weapons. I just don't have that kind of time, so I had to kind of just stick with what I had. And yeah, if you guys want a part 2, I will make a part 2 when there are a couple more weapons added to the game, because I had a lot of fun making this video, even though it was a little bit mentally draining at some points. I really did have fun. I also will not ask you guys to subscribe or like. However, I will ask you guys to join my Discord in the link below, because especially if you're new, and you also have the opportunity to take place in weekly bunker raids or RGE PvP events is something that we're adding in the future. Actually very close in the future. We're talking this week, next week, somewhere around in there. So I highly recommend you guys join my Discord for that. Again, I'm not going to ask you to like or subscribe, but I appreciate every single one of you watching. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.